Where's the background research on that guy? I know we sent someone to look into it.
Yes? These orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Huh. All right, we'll start at the beginning. When the colony war ended, the UC and Freestar Collective came to the agreement some weapons needed to be off limits. Mechs, xenowarfare. So they gathered up all the relevant research materials and sealed that information away. Terramorph data included, in the archives here in the city. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Va'ruun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Va'ruun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done. No. Each is a strip of several million random numbers generated on the fly based on biometric keys kept by each of the ambassadors on their person at all times. They're impossible to create without those keys, and those keys stay with the ambassadors, meaning we're accessing nothing if we can't get them on our side.
Very funny. This is going to be hard enough already. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Va'ruun? Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
It sounds as though I will enjoy this.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code. Huh. Well, if that's the case, I'll wait to be pleasantly surprised. But we do have one item up our sleeve. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts.
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge.
When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here.
He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
The Zealots do not represent House Varun. I am sure there are many within their society who value the same things we do.
Of course, but there is another wrinkle. We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out. The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador. It would at least be a speedier negotiation, but I, of course, hope the ambassador is alive and well.
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here. This device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
I used to be an actuary. Now look at me.
Yes? You needed something?
Captain, Admiral Logan informed me of your part in halting the attacks. Whole damn city owes you. Now, what do you need?
You can just call them SysDef. Everyone else does. They're the division responsible for combating the Crimson Fleet, fighting pirates. It's not a small job, keeping the galaxy's mercantile class safe from death and dismemberment, so they're constantly undermanned. They work out of the ship, the UC Vigilance, though the support request was a little vague on what your actual duties would be if you decided you want to lend a hand.
I just don't like how Strad
I think I got them. What do you call them? Corns? Yeah, I got corns.
How are you? What have you got for me? We will speak again.
I'm sorry, but I need sign-off from the Interstellar Affairs office before I can set foot in there.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's plumbing, not pastry. It could cause an incident in my jobs.
You our visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
I wonder how many times one side or the other has threatened to close this embassy down over the years.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or conference room. That means you.
As in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. That woman is an absolute... Oh, sorry. Oh, what? You're the Vanguard captain, right? You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. Sounds like I got real lucky. And like I've got you to thank for things not being a lot uglier. Well, then you have my earnest thanks. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that personally, even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so you should probably go speak to her. You want to work with me? Why don't we talk somewhere a bit more private?
Most times, entry to New Atlantis is seamless. But on occasion, you have officers who want to settle old grievances. Let's hope we don't run into any more delays on this visit.
Official business? Talk to the ambassador.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? What are you? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right. Oh, stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yes, I would request the same. This is unpleasant to watch.
See, even your compatriot can't stomach such a sorry display. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go? You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood. I'm listening. You know that for sure. That is interesting. And the archival monitors can ensure that's all you take. Huh, that would work. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. We will be ensuring the monitors only permit you access to items related to stopping these terramorphs. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement? Well then, I guess you'd better get a move on.
Most times, entry to New Atlantis is seamless. But on occasion...
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
...to settle all grievances.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my Now, she also mentioned that now the use... I can only presume... I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go? No, Captain, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. What you experienced down there at the spaceport, I've lived that once before already. Fought tooth and nail as aliens rampaged in the streets of my home and others all throughout the collective. But my aliens were placed there by UC hands. So I'm not interested in anyone getting power like that ever again. The UC most of all. You have my answer. Now please take the hint. You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One, to convince me. Understood. I'm listening. You know that for sure. That is interesting. I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. That's all the UC would need to do some damage. Captain, I'm sorry, but my answer is not changing. The UC is just gonna have to find another way. Now, I presume you can see yourself out.
Most times, entry to New Atlantis is seamless.
I'm sorry.
But on occasion, you have...
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. You have my Now, now the use... I can only... Excuse me. A less level-headed person might think that was a threat, Captain.
We are merely stating the obvious. If you are threatened by that, perhaps you should do something about it. Like, help us.
And just give the UC free run of the archives? I may as well resign right now. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. I will not be the one... No, Captain, I'm not. Fought tooth and... But my alien... So I'm not... You have my answer. You're really gonna push this? I'm listening. You know that for sure. That is interesting. That's all the UC would need to do some damage. No one does, Captain. The only question is how to do it. It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. We will be ensuring the monitors only permit you access to items related to stopping these terramorphs. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement? Well then, I guess you better get a move on.
Sorry. Everyone's a little on.
We're hiring if you're interested. Ask.
Keeping the skies safe out there?
Welcome back. Everything going well with the ambassadors? Wait, you got her to agree? Without putting a gun to her head? And all she wants are monitors. Then what are you doing here? Yes, granted, we'll make the arrangements. Heavens above, we'll make them citizens. Just get back there before she changes her mind.
Pardon.
This building is Freestar sovereign territory. So in here, we're the...
So you want me to work with you? But why now? Why me? No, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And no other city should have to go through what happened here. So then, what would you need from me? The code machine. Only the ambassador's cleared for in there. Sorry.
It's good to be back at the embassy.
Back at last. I presume the deputy was receptive to our proposal. Are we all in agreement? Excellent. Follow me. They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
I think you may be trying to take a little too much on. Literally.
I'm a pretty devoted follower. I love coming to listen to Keeper Aquilus and talk with the others. I still have a lot to learn, though. I truly believe that Keeper Aquilus and the Sanctum Universum has been an absolutely positive influence on my life. I try to reach out to others as much as possible, you know, invite them to come talk with us and spread Keeper Aquilus's teachings. I think it's the least I can do. Sure, but I warn you, I'm not the world's most interesting guy. I was born and raised in New Atlantis. Actually, to be more specific, the Well. I had a rough childhood like most people from down there. Luckily for me, I managed to get out of there and find a job in the commercial district. The Sanctum Universum has been helpful for me. I admittedly have struggled with feelings of anger, and sometimes I still do. Keeper Aquilus and the church have really helped me to become a better person.
I don't have the energy to live. I like people watching. Uh-huh.
Something important or just conversation? If there's anything you need, I am happy to share. May you find favor in all things. So strange that now, for all reasons, is my first time inside this place. It's been a very long time since I have seen one of these trees. Some people would be proud to know the tribes. Your abilities are
You can't hope to win.
Best not to leave anything useful behind. Give up already.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Eh? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. Hence why I was guiding you through the intercoms to restore the environmental controls. And release me. It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... well, perhaps not a topic for this exact moment. But I must know of the rest of the city. Does it still stand? I take it you didn't have such an experience where you were, then, hmm? Yes, the entire embassy was thrown into lockdown, trapping me in my quarters, disabling the Venom tree's filters, and arming the defenses. A disconcerting experience, to say the least. Was the rest of the city spared? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you and your friend here.
You need not maintain a facade, Kasric. He knows who I am. Who I actually am.
Quite the breach in protocol, Andreja. Something I look forward to discussing further. Once we've established why it is you to have come waltzing through my door uninvited. Now, the broadcast earlier spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly? The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them. A fine counterexample, responsible for the deaths of millions on ancient Earth. And, fireworks? Absolutely capable of being put to violence, but not evil in itself. And here you are with a similar conundrum. I might be willing to support you if I knew I would not be tarnishing the legacy of House Varun by doing so.
You have my word as well, and you know that you can trust me.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me. Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
I also wish to be prepared for any situation, but there are practical limits, no?
I will not have House Varun be known only for slaughter. The Great Serpent is so much more than a god. It is fate itself. When our founder, Jinan Varun, left the United Colonies 140 years ago for distant stars, it was the Serpent that compelled him to found his now great house. The Serpent made us who we are today. Its voice speaks to us, shepherding us through the dark, and infuses our lives with the meaning the universe so often fails to provide. House Varun committed itself to the armistice. This was said at the time to be the desire of the Great Serpent, and I do not believe the Serpent decides such things on a whim. So, when my brethren left, I remained, honoring the Serpent's will as I saw fit, as is the right of all his followers. It was tolerable, even pleasant, when my brethren were here in the embassy with me. We remade this place as best we could into a home we all would recognize. Our native flora, our iconography, our connection to the Serpent, they came with us. With my brethren gone, it has been trying. But the Great Serpent has always provided me a path in my darkest moments. The affairs of House Varun are our own. They left. That is all there is to be said on the subject. It is perhaps not my place to say. She has her own calling, as I have mine, but I assume that she, like most of our observers, was instructed to keep her history private. I would not even know of her myself were it not for the urgent need to pass on communications a year ago. She must trust you a great deal to have told you. I suggest you keep it to yourself, for both of your sakes.
If there is something I can do, I am always willing to carry an extra weapon. Or two. Or three. Some other time, then.
What response?
I'm told by top officials the captain.
Oh! Need a moment to walk that off?
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement. You saved him. You Vanguard really do take that above and beyond thing seriously, don't you? Fine work. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Just doesn't add up. Spaceport has it.
Here on Vanguard business?
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin. You may proceed, Captain.
Hey there.
Captain, can I help you?
Howdy. There you are.
Captain? Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next. Plan is for Hadrian to take the data from here.
Time for us to start getting some real answers, and figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. You're carrying the most comprehensive collection of information on terramorphs in the known universe. If we can't pry an answer out of there, it likely doesn't exist. Certainly doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but we're not going to know until Percival and I dig in, so whenever you're ready. Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Percival's already getting the Devil's HQ online, so we can hit the ground running.
That your ship that landed not too long ago? It sure is something.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? It doesn't. We don't really care where else you might have been or might become a citizen. Once you earn your place in the United Colonies, it's yours. Well, only citizens can own property in New Atlantis. We also pay a discounted rate at any United Colonies merchant. And all citizens receive an ample credit disbursement upon joining. Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? To the best of your abilities, yes. But I think you can manage. So, will you let those values guide you as a citizen? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Do I have it? I understand this puts you in a strange position, but this information is too sensitive to share without your agreement. Can I count on you to keep this between just you and I? Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
All surprised that the UC has such a massive space dedicated to secrets.
But there are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
Very well, I will wait. You go on. A pleasure.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get, which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am? Perceptive. I like that. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Vivictus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here, a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies. To warrant my execution, the official charges I faced after the war were twofold. The first was the destruction of civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne, a battle during which those civilian ships were actively attacking my fleet. The other was ordering the bombing of the Londinian spaceport to halt the spread of the Terramorph outbreak there. The city and its citizens were lost, but countless others likely saved. And for doing what was right, I was put on trial, and my life irrevocably changed. One final act of rebellion by the leadership that lost the Colony War. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity, but my execution, staged. A lethal injection that was anything but. The cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on as an advisor, and considering the other option, I was in no place to refuse. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. But such is the life of a soldier. Very astute. That's my daughter. My progeny. You've been working alongside. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family? Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do. It was an attempt by the United Colonies to solidify its own legacy, forging a new generation of great leaders. They were raised by adoptive families made up of scholars and tacticians, trained at the United Colonies' greatest scientific and military academies, displayed incredible promise. But by the time the Colony War came to a close, there was only Hadrian. But that's ancient history now. You have much more pressing matters at hand, with which I can help. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are. But in exchange, I need something dealt with. Well, who better to find them? But many of them I knew personally, and I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born, next of kin, you'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born, or where a family member resides. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me to track them down and set things right. One task. That's all I require. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlays. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the colony war ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps down the line, you might become a part of our team. And this might be something of a tryout. Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this loose end at long last. Though I would ask you, do not make the mistake of confusing me for a simple cutthroat. You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it. If that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria, Wolf System. There's a star station in the vicinity, the Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man. If you don't believe me, speak to the deputy. She'll confirm Orlays is a man worth removing from this world. It's a phrase, actually, in one of Earth's dead tongues. Woe to the defeated. I acquired it during my school years, after defeating an older cadet so badly that it led to his dismissal from the program. Since then, it's been hurled at me by critics who didn't like the methods by which I achieved victory. But I can't say I don't like it. Stood as a reminder, I wasn't a man to be trifled with. The official charges I faced after the war were twofold. The first was the destruction of civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne, a battle during which those civilian ships were actively attacking my fleet. The other was ordering the bombing of the Londinian spaceport to halt the spread of the Terramorph outbreak there. The city and its citizens were lost, but countless others likely saved. And for doing what was right, I was put on trial. And my life irrevocably changed. I was told the process was decidedly complex. While we come from the same clay, the kiln and the sculptor had much to say in who Hadrian became. For the better. We are, after all, so much more than our legacies, genetic or otherwise. You're going to ensure that Reginald Orlays sees justice at long last, and then bring me evidence of your work. I've tracked him to Etheria in the Wolf System. Speak to Captain Marquez in the Den. She should be able to help you track him down.
Identity verified. You may proceed to the exit.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy. Captain, please, keep your voice down. The situation with the prisoner is a complex one. A holdover from a different era. But it's a situation we've been managing as discreetly and humanely as we can for some time now. And the most critical part of that management is making sure no one else learns of it. Do I make myself clear? The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information, and she certainly doesn't need a distraction from her current, very important work. Which is why I need you to keep this to yourself. Short of jailing you? No, you're right. But in this moment, I think it would be a big mistake to tell her. Though I presume he didn't call you down there simply to discuss his daughter. Dr. Reginald Orlaise? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlaise is completely out of the question, but bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being offered in return? Allowing you to kill someone on behalf of the prisoner? Absolutely not. But taking the chance to bring a known criminal to justice? Well, the old man's been right more than a few times in the past. So... what's being put on the table here? Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting? The Den? It's a star station, orbiting Wolf, the second star station actually to bear that title. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the Serpent's Crusade. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and refueling UC military vessels. But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there have always been a little more lax. Patrols included. I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out. Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake, but I don't think you need to be too concerned. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch. So while I'd certainly warrant caution, I think you can proceed. Then I'll bid you good day, Captain, and remind you of the importance of discretion.
It is a good day, yes? I keep whatever you give me, yes? That is the deal? Goodbye. For now.
There's a bit. I know we're safe now, but oh, please, take a look. Thanks for coming in.
Been up there, huh? The scan is perfectly safe.
You should inspect your ship for
Not everything in the galaxy needs to come with us, you know.
if left unchecked.
You are a welcome. Need to see what I'm carrying?
fancy seeing you. I was hoping to run into you eventually. I've got something for you. Oh yeah, Smarty Pants? If you're so sure, how about you go ahead and tell me what you think it is? I mean, if you really want. No, dummy, it's a bunch of credits I've earned. I told you I wanted to pay you back if we ever cross paths again. Here. I know it pales in comparison to what you did for me, but it should help. Oh, I'm just working the front desk at a local accounting practice. It's not glamorous, but it pays the bills while I take classes. I haven't decided whether I want to pursue a history degree or get into film studies. I've always been interested in Earth culture, so one of those seems appropriate. Well, now I'm almost regretting it. Anyway, I was hoping you could do one last favor for me. Since you have a ship, would you be able to deliver a letter to my sister Julia for me? Oh, good point. Well, if you do come across them in your travels, please give this to Julia. It would mean a lot to me. Let me just add a few more details to my letter. And... okay, there. Thanks again. Take care. So glad I'm off that damn ship. Life's never been better.
Now would be a good time to reprioritize what we bring with us and what we leave behind. Or sell. Or throw away.
I'm in the mood for a mocha macchiato.
Hey, how's it going?
can I do for you?
Do you think the document... Up! Up! And away!
Be advised, you are entering United Colony space. Please maintain course and prepare to be scanned. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
Your grav jumps are as majestic as a ballet.
Acknowledging incoming hail. Docking Bay 1 is free.
We've docked. I'm sure whoever's in that ship will be thrilled to see you. I heard that you're so fast.
This station is but a shadow of its former purpose. I do not like it here.
Greetings, Captain.
Hey, what can I do for you? Okay, sure. We'll take care of any holes, broken seals, that kind of thing. Okay, no problem.
I understand this station was once quite the luxurious place for UC military commanders. Based on what I see, I find that very hard to believe.
Only a matter of time before I get promoted out of here. What does it matter? I'm gonna be out of here before you can blink, and this will all be behind me. That reporter didn't put you up to this, did he? I already told him. It was a misunderstanding. An accident. My flight record was spotless otherwise. You kidding? It's what I was born to do. Wait, I mean flying is what I was born to do. This Vanguard thing? Temporary. Only a matter of time before I get called up to the Navy. Before you know it, I'll be a captain. No, wait. Admiral. Yeah. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I be? Oh, right. You haven't seen me fly. If you had, you'd know how good I am. That, pal, is a bet you would lose. In fact, I wouldn't even take that bet because I'd feel bad for taking your credits. I'd offer to let you fly along on my next mission, but, oh, man, I nearly forgot. Listen, I need a favor. I've got an application in for a promotion in the Vanguard, but I haven't heard anything back. It's been a while. Their reply must have gotten lost along the way. It happens. We're really far from New Atlantis. Anyway, would you mind going there and following up for me? Yeah, I mean, probably, but you know how it goes. I leave here and then something terrible happens and I have all this guilt because I wasn't here to save everyone. Just like that? Wow, that's great! I'm not gonna forget that you're doing this for me. This is just the start of my climb up the ranks. You'll see. Okay, you're gonna want to talk to Commander Tuala. I'm sure he's aware of me because I've sent him a few messages now. Just bring back whatever message for me so I can get out of here, okay? Really appreciate it. Okay, then.
You have a nice day now.
I try not to trade in gossip, but if you have any verifiable information, I'm all ears. Why, certainly. The Settled Systems News Network is the longest-running news service in... well, the Settled Systems. Reporters are dispatched all over, keeping an ear to the ground for some breaking news that should be known to everyone. It can, admittedly, be a bit of a pain making sure those stories reach our central office in New Atlantis. But until someone invents faster-than-light communication, it's the best we can do. Well, I certainly feel that way. The Vanguard pilots don't seem to want to associate with me. And I don't agree with Mr. Romack's views on the colony war, so there are few options left to me. You know, I really thought volunteering for this assignment was going to be the boost to my career that I was looking for. Now I suspect even SSNN has forgotten about me. So I've been told. Goodbye, then.
Ah, a new customer. Welcome. Welcome to the Trade Authority. I'm Marcel, and if there's anything I can do for you, please, do let me know. Our stock may not be as vast as New Atlantis or Sidonia, but I will do my best to see that you leave here satisfied. And seeing as the Trade Authority is the only fully licensed operator for the Den, I'm afraid your alternatives are, shall we say, slim. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I hope this and all future interactions are profitable for both of us. It's very kind of you to offer, but I am currently not in a position to personally require your services. There are, however, likely some Trade Authority contracts available at the terminal down in the bar. I'm sure you're already aware that the Trade Authority is quite generous when it comes to completing said contracts. If there are deals to be made, you'll find that we'll go to great lengths to take advantage of them. My primary role here is to oversee logistics operations for our many trade routes in the area, but I convinced my superiors that it was worth setting up something more customer-oriented. I'm told that they are quite pleased with the results. I hope we have what you need. Good to see you. By all means.
Marquez is all right, I guess. She's gonna be lucky to have me as a boss.
Looking to lodge a complaint? Then you want UC security, not the Vanguard. You're here for me? Did I miss a briefing or something? Orlace. Doesn't ring a bell. Anything you can tell me about him? A man? Living around Etheria. The gas giant. Only one ship like that I know of. Never docks. Doesn't respond to hails. They call it the Warlock. Maybe this Orlace of yours is the one piloting it. I can give you the coordinates to its last sighted location if you want. Just, well, you'll need to be careful. That part of Etheria's sky is an old debris field. Plenty dangerous. More than a few scrappers heading out never came back. Things you should know? The den's not really that kind of place. This is a quiet assignment. Keep an eye out for pirates, make sure smuggling's kept to a minimum, occasional rescue job out in the debris fields. Otherwise, it's mostly long haulers and staying ready for the day the Collective wants another round, or House Varun comes back in force. I honestly thought it was just a story board haulers told each other to keep themselves amused. Pretty surprised to find out he has a name. Like, finding out the Grim Reaper's named Mitch or something. Huh. Makes you wonder, though. Ships have been disappearing in those fields for years. Going theory on why was a combination of old ordnance and Etheria's gravity disappearing them. But maybe someone's been helping them over the ledge. Well, the original Den Star Station was destroyed decades ago during the Serpent's Crusade by marauding House Varun zealots. Big part of the remains from those battles ended up gathering around Etheria, forming a nasty debris field. Every now and then, some headstrong scrapper comes limping back because they hit an 80-year-old mine. Or sometimes they don't come back at all. Sure thing. Here. This should get you pointed in the right direction. Go get your man.
hands down, the best pilot in this dump.
Yeah?
If you're ever in New Atlantis, mind putting in a good word for me? I don't think my messages to SSNN are getting through.
I'm on what you call a long-term assignment. Suits me fine, so long as the UC keeps paying me. Ooh, well, that depends on who you ask. Orville over there is still stuck in the glory days when this was the domain of the UC military brass and all their hangers-on. You can't see those days are never coming back. The Vanguard pilots, they mostly just resent guarding the ass end of nowhere. Reyna's okay, I guess. She seems to really care about the mission. And me? Well, it's as good a place as any to be stuck, I guess. You know, that's a good question. I do stuff for Orville sometimes, odd jobs or whatever, when he's not annoying. But I think technically I get paid by the Vanguard. I mean, I could probably go look it up. But as long as the credits keep showing up in my account, I'll keep hanging around. You know, I do stuff for... Gotta love bureaucracy, right? Yep. See ya.
None of us would be here now.
It would seem more prudent that the UC simply shut down this entire station, rather than allow it to endure in this state.
Hey there. Ain't seen you before. What brings you to the den? Ah, man with a purpose. Good, I like that. Don't worry, I won't ask questions. I know well as anyone that secrets ought to stay secret. Well, you're welcome here, so long as I don't hear you disrespecting the United Colonies military. You got a problem with our history or our heroes? And you can find somewhere else to get yourself a drink. Clear? Tell me something I don't know. You should have seen this place 30 years ago. UC's best and brightest were in and out of here all the time. But then the Colony War and, well, most folks don't like to be honest about that. I ain't one to turn my back on those who saved us in those days. And because I won't dishonor the memory of Vae Victis, business dries up. Ain't my problem that people don't like to face the reality of what happens in wartime. The man was a hero, not a traitor. Oh, he was a brilliant man. Just brilliant. Best leader we could have asked for in a crisis. He made the tough decisions no one else could. Did what needed to be done. Saved our asses. And when it was over, they turned on him. Called him a traitor and executed him. Just shameful. Well, not all of us are just gonna go along with rewriting history. Some of us remember. We saw it happen. Vae Victis sacrificed everything to save the United Colonies. That's what a real hero does. Well, now that depends. You support the UC? Consider yourself a patriot? Because I've got no time for anyone who won't acknowledge reality. Sure as hell does. All right, maybe you can help me out. Had some posters made up a while back to remind folks of the good work Vae Victis has done for all of us. Try and push back against all the lies the government tells. I'd put them up here, but that's, caused some friction with the Vanguard pilots. I hate to see them go to waste, though. If a strong-willed, patriotic individual, such as yourself, were to make sure some of them were placed where they could inspire the people of the United Colonies, well, that'd be something. And there'd be some credits in it for anyone helping out the UC. What do you think? I was thinking the well might be a good spot. People down there might be more receptive, don't you think? That's the spirit. All right. Posters are in the back there, and you just let me know when you're done. Long live the UC.
Don't let Orville get to you. Just smile, take your drink, and be on your way. That's for everyone.
I really did think this place would see a bit more action.
Whew. Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship. Here for a chat?
Something on your mind? And is it hero work?
I hear Constellation has been collecting a ton of new things. Ancient things. Do you think people are starting to notice?
What's up? What's going on?
Endless boy, who is this you've brought me? More scrap for the field. Savor your last moments, Moat. All systems. Shoot them down. But
satisfying seeing the hatches line up.
Miss me?
How can I be of service, Captain?
You will not take me. I lost everything because of the UC. They will get no more!
Pilot emergency detected. Hatch override engaged. Error. File deletion cannot be completed. Ending process.
I'm not entirely sure of the temperature thresholds on our equipment, but we may risk exceeding them.
Captain, it is pleasant.
Using Isaac. Using Isaac. I am your sidekick, your shadow, your tail.
Another perfect jump.
You are entering
Just
United
like
Colony
you
space. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned. And complete. Enjoy your stay in New Atlanta. This.
The city certainly projects a powerful image for the United Colonies, eh?
By the way, Captain,
the Settled Systems, SSNN.
One day, I'm gonna leave New Atlanta.
What can I do for you? Okay, didn't see that one coming. No need to say any more. I know what it's about. He's convinced he deserves a promotion, which to him means a transfer, a command post, maybe a new ship and a big office. Do you know him well? What do you think of him? Fair enough. Clearly patience isn't his strong suit. I thought the constant stream of messages was a bit much, but if he's gonna be sending people here... Alright, I received some good advice from someone in the Vanguard recently, and I'm gonna run with it. I'd like you to deliver this message to Bastion on my behalf, the full authority of Vanguard leadership. He's gonna be the first and only recipient of a new commendation. Quite an honor. I hope he appreciates it. Please, give him my regards.
Greetings, citizen. Welcome to the UC.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Welcome back, Captain. Do you have some news for me regarding Dr. Olays? I'm not surprised. The man fled every consequence he ever faced. Of course, you don't expect me to just take you at your word, do you? I'd say it'd be a waste of your and Hadrian's time to have to track down the research team on your own. Surely you found something. Excellent. Please, deposit it in the transfer system.
Transfer accepted.
Would you look at that? Kept it all these years. Some simply couldn't let go of that old world. This is fine work, Captain. I can ensure the remaining team members find their way to the Red Devil's headquarters. Except for one. That one you'll need to collect yourself. His name is Kaiser. You can find him on the Freestar world of Nira, wandering the battlefield there. The area was ground zero for xeno-weapon deployments during the war, so I would arm yourself appropriately. And I think you'll want to check in with Hadrian and Dr. Walker before paying it a visit. Kaiser will likely have security protocols you'll need their help to overcome. I dedicated my life to the United Colonies. Every effort of my being to their protection. I even gave them my heirs, even if my circumstances have changed. My purpose is not. A military Model A, yes. Specifically customized for the needs of the Xeno warfare team during the Colony War. A powerful resource, if you can recover him. Of course. We're protecting the galaxy, Captain. We'll need every tool at our disposal.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Welcome to the den. If you have business, feel free to land.
This all feels like a dream.
Hello, Captain.
You look like you've got news. It better be good news. Okay, come on. Don't keep me in suspense. When do I ship out? What? How could it be better? Oh, come on. Quit messing with me and just tell me already. Huh. Okay. Commendation, huh? That's not so bad. Bet Reyna doesn't have one. Thanks for doing the legwork here. I'm not gonna forget that you helped me out. And someday, when I'm running the Vanguard, I'm gonna make sure you get paid big time. For now, though, my account's a little light, so this is the best I can do. But really, I mean it. I'm gonna remember this.
I really did think this place would seem in.
How come talking about history makes people so uncomfortable? Back from a hard day's work promoting the heroes of the UC. I like it. Folks need to be reminded every once in a while that sacrifices have to be made to keep them safe. This is for your effort, Patriot. Don't spend it all in one place. Long live the UC.
What? Oh, sorry.
Do you think the documentary about your life will be made into a movie? And who do you think will play?
Hey. Misuse of scientific knowledge is why this place was shuttered the first time. I'm sure the UC doesn't want to go through that again. Captain, welcome back. Was afraid you might have gotten reassigned. You've been gone so long. So how's it feel to be a citizen? Must have changed up how the ceremony works. I just raised my hand and said, sure, I'm in. But it is real good to have you here again. We've been going through the Terramorph data and, well, we're gonna need all the help we can get. These logs, they're even more thorough than I remembered. Genetic workups, population statistics, hell, even their food chain. I'd completely forgotten, for example, that there was a creature that actually ate Terramorphs. At this point, the data's given us more options to explore than we have people to work on them. Well, 8. They went extinct a few decades back. A big lumbering thing called an Aceles. Something I'd love to learn more about, if we had the people to look into it. That'd be something, wouldn't... I'm sorry, are you... You're serious? You found... our research team? That's... incredible. That accelerates... everything. With them back, it'll let us... Wait. Kaiser. Did you find Kaiser? That's right. You would need that. Whoever gave you these leads sure knew their stuff. Oh, how? How exactly did you manage to find them? That's not funny. Seriously, how'd you find them? No. That's insane. He died. They executed him. They faked his death? My entire unit, they threw us all to the wolves, but kept him? And now he's what? An advisor? Commanding the fleet in secret? What was so important that they had to keep him alive? Oh, they certainly picked an expert, didn't they?
Victus. Alive after all this time. His use to anyone is irrelevant. He should have been executed for him.
I guess it makes sense, though, doesn't it? The UC of that era only created me because they were afraid of a world without Victus in command. Why would they get rid of him? As long as I live, I'll never understand the loyalty that old bastard elicited. You've got nothing to apologize for. Because the UC, they did a lot of terrible things for that man. But even knowing they did, knowing that they kept him alive all this time, you know what I feel right now? It's hope. I had no one when I was outside the UC. No Red Devils, no family. But that old world, where I was no one and my father mattered, that's gone. Thanks to what you and I have done, I have a place again. A purpose. But it's finally one I can be proud of. You and I, we're getting to change what the UC stands for. So I don't care if Victus is alive or dead. He can rot for all I care. We're the ones who are making the settled systems and the UC better. No, but I am willing to try and make them a place we can be proud of. The UC that kept my father alive, that threw me out, those people aren't in charge anymore. And the ones that are, well, they're giving us a chance. It's up to us to do something with it. Precisely. Because there's nothing we can do about past choices. What we can do is try and make the right ones now. So, let's get back to the business at hand. Now, my father just handing over the information on the research team and Kaiser out of the clear blue, I can't say I trust it. But if he has something to gain from helping us prevent terramorph attacks, I'm not seeing it. So while you'll absolutely want to be cautious, what would you think about trying to bring back Kaiser? I'm honestly not sure what his endgame might be. Involving himself in preventing terramorph attacks after all the damage he's done? Something doesn't add up. But he clearly understands how valuable it'd be to have Kaiser involved in this endeavor. So, I still think it'd be worth looking into. If you're willing. I think it's the right call. But if Kaiser has been out wandering on his own for all this time, you're gonna need a couple things.
Hello.
I know it's here somewhere. Uh-huh.
Here, Kaiser schematics. Actuators, weapons, batteries.
That old robot's been MIA for a while, so chances are he's gonna need some repairs.
He's also got a lock on his voice controls. You can give yourself authorization with the phrase, Nos belli machinis. Now, where exactly is the old machine? Oh, it's really not that daunting. So long as he's on a planet with some modicum of civilization, you should be able to cobble together most of what he might need. He is on a planet like that. Right?
Oh my god, are you talking about Nira? No wonder no one's found him. Xenoweapons are just the tip of the iceberg in that place. The environment's devastated. There's little, if any, real law. Nira's got more than enough ways to make any visit your last. But I think there's a place where you can start your search. Yep. One-of-a-kind salvage. Licensed to an Angelo Alonso. Goes by Gel. As good a place to start as any. The Colony War saw a lot of hard fighting, but Nira got it the worst. Everything the Freestar Collective and UC could muster, ground troops, xenoweapons, mechs, was hurled into the fray. Both sides hoped something would decisively turn the tide, but it never did. When the war finally ended, swaths of that world were so devastated they were effectively abandoned. So what Kaiser's doing there of all places, I can only guess at.
Kaiser lets us do fieldwork with a level of precision that there's really no other way to accomplish. More than a few of the options we're looking into. Detectors to uncover the terramorph transmission method, or crafting a targeted biological agent. They require highly specific materials to test against. And asking a group of Marines to accompany us for that kind of work, well, it usually ended up with ruined samples and wounded teammates. And I'll make sure we're ready to put them to use as soon as you got them.
I miss my dear darling and you, Atlantis, as I wander the blackness of the deep abyss. My ship is in tatters, all dented and worn, but I trust my old engine to get back by morn. Way-oh, out in the blackness, way-oh, out in the void. Way-oh, get me back to my true love, as quick as an old asteroid.
You are the greatest. No. Better than the greatest. I know that's grammatically impossible, but somehow you managed to do it.
Oh, and now you've made mine. Afraid my ship's got the next jump plotted in, so I'm away. Fair travels.
I'm doing an oral history of Constellation's most decorated members.
Hi. Please disregard.
Hey! New model on the floor. Welcome to the one-of-a-kind. Refuge and rest home for the hardest scrappers anywhere. Name's Jill. Proprietor. Turn mechs into money mostly. Plus selling equipment, information, and supplies to any short-term scrappers that want to take a shot at striking it rich out in the fields. Not here to make your fortune out in the fields, then, huh? Suit yourself. But there's no bot named Kaiser around. Oh, unless you mean Captain Ahab? At least, that's what we've all been calling him. No clue what his actual designation is, since he's got some sort of security protocol that prevents inquiries and general chit-chat. But he's a combat bot, right? Yeah, that machine's been out there a while now, hunting this one siren, his white whale. But it's been a while since anyone's laid eyes on Captain Ahab, though. Maybe he finally got the thing. Or it got him. Moby Dick? Old Earth story about one Captain Ahab chasing some big fish that's bound to get him killed? No? We all thought the name was a good fit since our bot friend was so damn busy chasing that siren of his. Quality slate, too. Think I got a copy for sale if you want to give it a look. Nasty kind of alien left behind after the colony war. Pretty much blind. Original ones brought to Nera were all xeno-weapons. But those critters have long since passed. But they left behind more than enough untrained babies to keep the fields plenty interesting. Little, slow on the uptake, huh? I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same damn machine. So, sounds like you've got two options. You can wander around out there, hunting your bot, little old white whale of your very own. Maybe you find him, maybe you get yourself killed. But knowing this rock is part of what we do here, so if you want to find him a whole lot faster, I'll sell you what I know about this. Kaiser's location. Going rate's a little steep, but I'm willing to negotiate. I mean, great for him, but that won't keep acetylene in our tanks. And honestly, would you be able to tell if a terramorph was attacking outside? Sorry. I'm listening. This is what you call negotiating? I seem to attract the types with big talk and empty pockets. I hear you. Okay. You made your point. I'll give you a discount. Pleasure doing business with you. So, last anyone heard of him, he was out near the Syracuse, shipwreck about a quarter click down the main strip. One of my roughnecks said he heard some kind of beacon. Just keep your ears open. You should find your machine. Eyes open, too. Sirens and Ecliptic out there, and neither takes prisoners. Oh, and corpse retrieval is not included in this transaction, so now you know. Give Ahab a Kaiser our best.
Something of value can come from those old necks.
What is it that is said about one man's junk? There is so much junk. It is difficult to recall how that goes. Probably best not to think too long about what Ecliptic will be doing with anything they salvage.
You're not.
Much time and effort into building these ships, and so quickly they come apart in the end. Well, this has certainly seen better days.
Contaminant. Detected. Destroy. Infestation. of my job. Distractions.
Get you something?
It's good that something of value can come from those old mechs.
Ecliptic are the meanest damn soldiers of fortune in the galaxy. Make the Crimson Fleet seem polite by comparison. You stumble across any out there, you back away slowly, or get ready to kill every last one of them.
Nasty kind of alien left behind after the Colony War. Pretty much blind. Original ones brought to Nera were all xeno-weapons. But those critters have long since passed. But they left behind more than enough untrained babies to keep the fields plenty interesting. Lots of money to be made on mech scrap if you know where to look. And I just happen to sell a guide that'll show you the best spots to get started. Couple of words of warning, though. As you may have put together, Nera's more dangerous than a cellophane airlock. And it's not just the environment that'll kill you. UC brought xeno-weapons here during the Colony War, and more than a few decided to put down roots. Sirens are the ones you really need to watch out for. You've also got the unauthorized scrappers, Ecliptic being the worst of the bunch. Kill you for looking at them wrong. Luckily, we sell a wide array of problem solvers in various colors and calibers. Any Nera scrapping expedition starts by checking my stock. Ah, so that's where your machine's been. Ran out of juice. Heat leeches, wasn't it? Those little stowaways are everywhere on this rock. Suck the power out of a pen light if you let them. But a microcell, that's military-grade tech. I think we might have one, but I can promise you, it's not going to be cheap. You could probably Frankenstein one together using our fabrication system here, but only if you had some quality schematics. So, I just brace for a little sticker shock. Wouldn't have lasted real long here, doing what we do without a top-notch fabrication system. So long as you've got the specs, it should be able to handle making you a microcell. But finding materials up to the task, you're likely going to be sifting through quite a few mech hulks out there to find what you need. Though, if you think you can actually manage something like that, I'm willing to make you a deal. I'll point you towards the juiciest harvest sites. Spots where you should be able to find quality parts. But in return, any excess materials you collect, you sell to me, all right? Save us from risking our necks on another run out there. What do you say? I can't give you a guarantee, but a couple of mech types use microcells to power non-critical systems, running lights, radar, that sort of stuff. All the intact microcells will be long gone, too valuable. But the parts to make one, much better chance those are still lying around. So what do you say? Sell me what you don't need, and I'll tell you where to look? Then let me just mark those collection points. Watch yourself out there. Don't forget, what can I do for you? I'm sure you've seen them. They're everywhere. Little worms that nest on electronics or sneak into ship engines and suck the juice from them. Big ports like New Atlantis usually have someone whose job it is to pull them out of docked ships. But since it's just us here, the little bastards have pretty much free reign outside the salvage yard. All legal, I swear.
get a load of visitors coming through. Can't imagine what keeps him away. Joe says you're all right.
Not here to be your friend. Here to cut up mechs.
You hear careful in the field, short-termer. Plenty of bodies out there that didn't come with the war.
In need of materials? Or just here to have a drink and enjoy the views? It's kind of an inside joke. Other than the fact that we're the only place out here, the mechs we harvest, they're primarily from a group known as the 1st Cavalry. Their unit was deployed to break the deadlock on this world during the Colony War. Almost succeeded too, but as you can probably guess, it didn't ultimately work. Left us plenty of scrap to build with though, so we thought it'd be funny to dedicate this place to the folks that made it possible.
Something on your mind? Something for personal use or for sale?
Not here to be your friend. Here to cut up mechs.
I believe we are not alone.
Battery accepted. Operational power levels restored. Analyzing. Residual damage detected. Impact shielding. Visual systems. Damage within acceptable limits. Thank you for your aid. I must resume my mission. Please step aside. Heat leeches. Energy siphoning pests. Nested as I reset from my last altercation. Good to have them gone at long last. Weapon disarmament. High risk. So I will ask you to stand aside. Major Sanon will have to wait. I cannot leave my mission, although previous attempts to disarm the weapon have been unsuccessful. Additional support may allow me to complete my active mission more quickly, allowing me to leave this place. My mission is the disarmament of Unit XW-99. Designation, Siren. Nearest final active Xeno weapon, 99 has proven a far more formidable adversary than its peers. Will you aid me with disarmament? During the Colony War, handling of Unit 99 and its peers were among my personal duties. Deploy Unit 99. Defend Unit 99 against hostile forces. But above all, ensure Unit 99 was never used against non-combatants. When I was separated from the Xeno-Warfare team with the Armistice, Unit 99 and its broodmates remained here, causing many non-combatant deaths. So I am here to correct my mistake. I have nearly succeeded in disarming their brood. Only Unit 99 remains. Correct. Unit 99 is a siren, a deadly biological specimen deployed to Nera during the Colony War. Engineered for combat efficiency, execution of said specimens is the standard method of xeno-weapon disarmament. Species designation, Secusa lantanus. Top speed, 78 kilometers per hour. Confirmed kills, 107. Technically, yes. All Xeno weapons have a control interface, which allows them to be given orders. If Unit 99 were to be subdued, I could wipe its interface. This would prevent Unit 99 from ever being used as a weapon again. That would be technically sufficient for the parameters of my mission. However, it is my personal assessment that Nera would be better off with Unit 99 terminated. Follow me. Mind your step. As you have no doubt witnessed, this region can be hazardous to organics. Kill protocols active. Detection event in hostile lost. Scanning.
Cowards. Unit 99. But there is a complication.
breach, but it appears to be under the control of hostile forces. Sensors suggest Ecliptic, a mercenary company like Ecliptic, would only want Unit 99 to utilize it as a weapon. This means Unit 99 must be disarmed immediately. Standard procedure would be a frontal assault on the outpost. No quarter given. Do you concur? If these mercenaries were able to decipher a method to access Unit 99's control interface, it would allow them to deploy the weapon. This must be prevented at all costs.
Simple and straightforward. A good choice.
Moving out.
Are you prepared to die?
It is still hard to believe.
Unit 99's service is now complete. Mine, however, continues. Work here is finished. Now, what is this mission you spoke of? Major Sinan is involved? A plague of terramorph attacks. That is disconcerting. You are docked at one of a kind. I will meet you there.
It is impossible to imagine what this looked like before the colony war. What a waste.
Captain, hello. I am satisfied to see that you survived your most recent assignment.
Any adventure you can fly away from. Is that how the saying goes?
Ready for liftoff.
And we have... Whenever I'm lost, I think, what would you do in my shoes? Not literally, though. I've got small feet.
United Colony Space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband.
Do you think people are starting to know?
Tend we're done.
We have arrived. I will meet you inside the facility.
I can't believe it.
Major Sanon, Dr. Walker.
You're in better shape than I expected, Kaiser. Shouldn't take us long to get you back up to full fighting capacity.
This is good to hear. I was told there was a new threat on the horizon. I wish to learn more.
Percival will give you the full story.
Plus, get you dressed for the occasion.
Occasion? Where are we going?
Londinian.
Londinian, Doctor. require additional armaments.
That's the plan. Come on.
Captain, you're with me. Time to walk you through what we came up with.
So the problem we're up against is vast. Terramorphs, they can be anywhere. Meaning us finding and disposing of them ourselves isn't an option.
Yes. What?
But what if we
I
could let
promise
someone
not
else
to
do the
laugh
work
if
for
you
us?
need to jump up and down to stay warm.
I'll walk you through what we're thinking.
You remember that creature we talked about before you went to Nira? The thing that eats terramorphs, the Asylees? Take that as a no, then. Yes, there are. Apparently, the Asylees were bloodhounds for terramorphs. But when the UC ran low on synthetic foods during the Colony War, the Asylees were chosen to fill in the gaps.
We thought they were harvested to extinction. But in the data, the research team found the location of a few remaining specimens. As you can see, what we're proposing is bringing them back. We'd breed populations of them, distribute them to human worlds, and then let nature take its course, using a method that thousands of years of adaptation have already perfected. We could speed up their breeding process using some of the same technologies that were used to create me. We even think that with some time and investigation, we could use the Asylees' hunting skills to track down the terramorph transmission method at long last. Find out how humanity spread them and put an end to the terramorph problem definitively. All our data suggests so. Asylees, they're impressive hunters. The few tests we've been able to run, well, they more than got the job done. They're also shockingly adaptable. The data suggests they're able to thrive just about anywhere, and we plan to selectively breed them so they can hunt terramorphs wherever they're hiding. Which is important, because we did some cross-referencing in the terramorph data. On worlds where Asylees were present, terramorphs weren't. This suggests that however it is terramorphs are getting onto our worlds, Asylees are somehow cleaning that up as well. These creatures are good at what they do. If you pick a fight with one, or you're a terramorph, sure. But Asylees were already spread across the galaxy once before during the Colony War, as livestock.
They're far less of a danger than the one we're proposing to clean up.
I suppose that's a fair comparison. Except that this time, we'd be protecting human lives, not ending them. Now, there is another option for removing the terramorphs from our worlds. It's faster, maybe even more efficient, but riskier. A microbe. Something we could aerosolize, let spread, and have it clean up anything with terramorph DNA for us, which would include morphs, and we expect their transmission method. It'd still take time to build, test, and distribute, but no other method could hold a candle to it when it comes to sheer efficiency. Not even the Asylees.
Well, that's still not 100%. But it sounds like the Vanguard will actually be picking up a fair bit of it. But there's no sense in hammering down those sorts of details before we've made a decision on which route we're taking. Percival assures me that they're minimal. He'll be able to encode safeguards against mutation in the agent's genetics, so that they stick to the task of cleaning up terramorphs. But the microscopic world has a tendency to behave in ways you can't always predict. So to say there's zero risk would be a lie.
Well, so that's tricky.
Both plans are going to take major investments in time and resources. We're talking years of work, not to mention some highly specialized materials.
Terramorph cell lines we can breed quickly and consistently to test on. Seely's gene samples we can use to rebuild their bloodlines. Or sharpen our microbes tracking skills. Not the sort of things any labs just got lying around.
But we think we found a lead. One place in the known galaxy where we know we should be able to find all the materials we need. All paths lead to Londinian. It was the central hub for Seely's processing during the Colony War. But, and this part's exciting, the Terramorph data suggests Seely's were first found there. The planet it's on, Toliman 2, was their homeworld. Meaning, there's a very good chance their prey, the Terramorphs, came from that same world. Which would also explain why no one ever suspected that planet as the Terramorph source world. The Seely's were too damn effective at cleaning them up. Additionally, it explains why once the Seely's were gone, the outbreak there was so catastrophic. Londinian could very well be where the Terramorph saga began. And the key to its end. It's certainly not encouraged, but the UC's given their sign-off for this excursion. This trip is all above board. It's dangerous, yes. But Kaiser, Percival, and I, we've trained for this. And you're not so green yourself. And the last thing I want right now is for the UC to stick us with some gung-ho jarhead who's gonna put us and the mission at risk. Captain, you're the reason we're all here right now. You're the person I think can help us finish it. Will you join us on this? Exactly what I was hoping to hear. Now, the UC has a small operating base on Londinian's outskirts. We're cleared for access, but we'll need to check in with the base commander, Sarah Hatoum, when we touch down. I'm gonna help Percival and Kaiser prep, but once that's done, we'll rendezvous with you there. But you need to know, Londinian, it belongs to the Terramorphs. They'll have anti-Xeno gear for us at the base, but I'd make sure you've got your favorite arms on hand.